Okay, so we are moving towards the chemical properties of group number 1, which is known as alkali metals. So let's talk about alkali metals properties of alkali metals. Right, we are talking about group number 1. So these are actually the chemical properties of alkali metals. You need to keep remember this कि हम किसकी बात कर रहे हैं, alkali metals की बात कर रहे हैं. सही है. तो सबसे पहला reaction, we have reaction with water. We have reaction with water. Why they are highly reactive metals? Why they consider as highly reactive metals? Because they can even react with cold water. Just think about it. If someone or any metal, if any metal or if any element is going to react with a cold water, so you can consider कि कितना reactive होगा वो. We always require temperature for the reaction. Sometimes we provide steam in the form of steam. Sometimes we provide a physical change like the temperature increment for the reactions. So temperature is one of the factor for the fast reactions. And if any element is going to do a reaction fastly without temperature, so you can consider that how reactive that metal is. कितना reactive होगा वो metal कि भाई बगैर temperature के ही ठंडे पानी में when temperature is decreasing, ठंडे पानी में वो highly reactive है, मतलब बहुत explosive है. So we can imagine that this is one of the highly reactive substance. So these elements that are part of the group number 1 are actually highly reactive because they can react extremely fast in cold water as well. So let's talk about the journal pattern first. Whenever you add alkali metals in water, they will show one journal pattern, and that consists of the hydrogen gas and metal hydroxide. You need to keep remember that the charge of hydroxide is -1. The charge of hydroxide is -1. You need to keep remember this. You need to learn this, right? And as we are talking about group number 1 right now, so every metal of group 1 have +1 charge. So whenever they combine together, they will form metal hydroxide without any number. There is no need of using bracket. There is no need of using any number. We just combine the elements together. That's it for the metal hydroxides, right? And you also need to keep remember that all group 1 metal hydroxides are actually soluble in water. They are soluble in water. We are just specifically talking about group 1 metal hydroxide right now. Okay, so this is a journal pattern. So I'm just going to write one of the equation for this and by using this journal pattern. So one of the metal of group 1 is lithium. We can even consider this, and you can even consider sodium. You can even consider potassium. You can even consider rubidium, right? Whenever you add them into the water, right? बेटे किसी का माइक खुला हुआ है, वो काइंडली इसको बंद कर ले. ठीक है. So we are talking about the reaction of group 1 metals with water. So actually the two reactants are over here. One is alkali metal and the second is water, right? So this is a chemical property actually, group 1 with water, And I told you the journal pattern of this chemical property is whenever group 1 metals are going to be added to the water, even in the cold water, they are going to produce metal hydroxide and hydrogen gas. So the compulsory product is what? Hydrogen gas. You will see hydrogen gas तो बनेगी ही बनेगी, लाजमी बनेगी. ठीक है ना? इसको बनने से कोई नहीं रोक सकता. और दूसरी चीज क्या बनेगी आपके पास? Metal hydroxide. And I told you whenever any metal of group 1 is going to connected with the hydroxide, it is always 1:1 ratio, because hydroxide is of -1 charge, and group 1 metals like lithium right now have +1 charge. When they combine, they will form lithium hydroxide in this way, right, bacho? And if you are writing sodium, so it will be sodium hydroxide. If you are talking about potassium, so it will be potassium hydroxide. If you're talking about rubidium, so it should be rubidium hydroxide. Is that right, bacho?
Right, sir.
Yes, sir.
Then for the balancing, if you talk about the balancing, if you talk about the balancing, but so first of all, you need to balance the odd numbers, right? If you balance the odd number first, it would be easier for you to balance the whole equation. So you can see this over here, we have 1 and 2 hydrogens. So it's become 3 hydrogens, right? So you need to balance this hydrogen first. So I'm writing 2 over here to balance this hydrogen. So it will be 2 plus 2, 4 hydrogens, right? And that is why I need to write 2 over here. So it will be 2 to the 4 hydrogens. And definitely you have 2 lithiums and 2 oxygen as well. Oxygen is already balanced over here. You can see this. And the lithium is only the one which is need to be balanced over here. So it is balanced. The whole equation is balanced now. And all the equations are same to balance because we just replaces metals and the properties remain same. Is that clear, every one of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Clear.
वो मैंने स्क्रीनशॉट लेना.
बेटा ये स्टार्ट यहीं से स्टार्ट हुआ है.
Okay, sir. ठीक है.
Okay, and then the state symbols are very important in this equation because many of the times in the examiner asks to write the state symbol as well. If they ask to write the equation, so the correct product and the correct products are actually giving you 1 mark. If you just write the correct products, you will get 1 marks for this. But if they ask for 2 number, so definitely you must need to write the correct state symbols over here. So you need to keep remember but all the time solids, metals are solids, right? So it should be solid, it should be solid, it should be solid, it should be solid, right? And if you talk about water, so it is actually liquid. Pani hamesha liquid hoga, theek hai? And then I told you that they all are metal of group 1 hydroxides are always soluble in water, so they are aqueous. They are aqueous, right?
Yes, sir.
And
Right.
hydrogen is gas, so you need to place G over here, right? So if you write the correct equation, correct product with the correct state symbols, you will get 1 more mark over here. So the maximum mark for this equation in exam can be for 2 marks, right? And 1 mark for the correct product and 1 mark for the correct state symbols. Got it, every one of you?
Yes, sir. Right.
Then in this equation, the examiner ask for the observation as well. So bacho, I'm writing the journal observations in the bottom for all the reactions over here. यहाँ पर जितने भी reactions हैं उन सब की journal observation मैं नीचे लिख रहा हूँ और जो एक observation change होगी वो मैं ऊपर ही लिखूंगा. So the one observation which is same for all these equations, you must need to keep remember बच्चों that whenever you will find gas in the reaction, whenever you find the gaseous product in the reaction, you can write the observation कि आपको यहाँ पर colorless gas phases. Right now, this is hydrogen gas. That is why I'm writing colorless gas phases. Even if you have any other gas, you can write the color of that if you remember. Right? Otherwise, phases word can give you 1 mark for the observation. Got it?
Effervescence.
Effervescence. You can even write effervescence as well. Effervescence of colorless gas can also give you 1 mark. You just don't need to write bubbles over here. You just need to write phases or effervescence, right?
You're right, sir.
Any problem, any one of you?
No.
Yes, sir.
हम ये नहीं बता सकते कि फायर जो होगी हम वो नहीं कह सकते कि फायर होगी लगेगी.
वो अभी मैं बता रहा हूँ आपको ना. मैं अभी जर्नल ऑब्जर्वेशंस लिख रहा हूँ जो कि सारे रिएक्शंस के लिए सेम है. ठीक है. Then the second one is बच्चों आप देखें यहाँ पर you have find one solid in the reactant and in the product you don't have any solid. In the reactant sides you have solid and in the product side you don't have. Reactant side have solid and in the product side you don't have. Reactant side have solid and in the product side you have not. So it means कि जो आपने solid डाला होगा, the solid is going to be disappear. क्योंकि आप देखें product के अंदर solid नहीं है. तो you can even write one more observation over here is solid disappears. And keep remember this thing that you are not allowed to write the name of the product in the observations. For suppose you cannot write the आपके पास hydrogen gas के bubbles नजर आ रहे हैं या fizzes हो रही है hydrogen gas या effervescence जो है hydrogen gas के. You are not supposed to write the name of the product क्योंकि observation में आप नाम नहीं लिखते. सही है ना? Observation में आप नाम नहीं लिखते. Observation का मतलब है what you are watching during the reaction. ठीक है ना? हो सकता है कोई रिएक्शन ऐसा हो कि आपको पता ही ना हो किस चीज का रिएक्शन हो, तो ऑब्जर्वेशन तो आप उसकी भी बता सकते हो. ठीक है ना? अभी फिलहाल आपको पता है कि सोडियम और वाटर का रिएक्शन हो रहा है, तो डेफिनेटली आपको प्रोडक्ट का भी अंदाजा होगा बिकॉज यू हैव लर्न दिस कि हाइड्रोजन गैस तो बनेगी. लेकिन नॉट ऑल द टाइम यू हैव एन आइडिया फॉर दिस, और अगर आपको आइडिया हो भी तो आप नहीं लिखेंगे प्रोडक्ट का नाम ऑब्जर्वेशन में. गॉट इट एवरीवन?
जी राइट सर.
got it.
एंड
Yes,
इन द लास्ट क्लास इफ यू रिमेंबर दैट, बच्चों के हमने लास्ट क्लास में क्या किया था, हमने किया था कि जो डेंसिटीज होती हैं ग्रुप 1 के मेटल्स की, वो होती हैं below than वाटर, पानी से कम डेंसिटी होती है. तो यू हैव आइडिया अबाउट दिस, so you can even write the observation in this way that solid floats on the surface of water, floats on the surface of water. You can even write this as well.
सर रूम टेम्परेचर पे सारे जो ये ग्रुप 1 के मेटल्स हैं ये सॉलिड होते हैं?
जी बेटे.
ओके सर.
ठीक है, ये देखें, ये 3 ऑब्जर्वेशंस मैंने वो लिखी हैं. यू कैन इवन राइट वन मोर ऑब्जर्वेशन दैट हीट रिलीजेस, बट इसके लिए आपको ये रिएक्शन करके देखना पड़ेगा, और जब आप ये रिएक्शन देखोगे तो आप फील करोगे कि जो कंटेनर है वो थोड़ा सा हॉट हो गया. ठीक है ना? बट ये रिएक्शन आपके पास एक्सोथर्मिक है, तो हीट रिलीज भी हो सकती है. इट इज ऑल्सो वन ऑफ द ऑब्जर्वेशन ऑफ दिस रिएक्शन. लेकिन ये चारों ऑब्जर्वेशंस जर्नल है, मतलब ये सब में होंगी, कोई सा भी रिएक्शन हो वो सब में ये वाली 4 ऑब्जर्वेशन हो सकती हैं. और जो ऑब्जर्वेशन चेंज होगी वो मैं सबके साथ इंडिविजुअली लिख देता हूं यहाँ पर. यू नीड टू कीप रिमेंबर दैट lithium is a highly reactive metal, so when you put them into the water it will show a quick reaction, so you can say that fast reaction, right? You can
सर
say
मेरे
that.
पास एक सवाल है.
जी.
सर अगर हम ये क्योंकि ये जो एल्कली मेटल्स के साथ जो वाटर का रिएक्शन होता है वो उसमें बहुत ज्यादा हीट एनर्जी रिलीज होती है ना, तो अगर हम इसमें ये करें कि हम न्यूक्लियर रिएक्टर जो होता है बेसिकली वो भी क्योंकि यही बेसिस पे काम करता है ना कि उसमें हीट एनर्जी होती है, तो हम उसको रिप्लेस क्यों नहीं कर सकते? ये एल्कली मेटल्स क्यों नहीं यूज कर सकते?
कहाँ पर? न्यूक्लियर रिएक्टर में?
सर मतलब हीट एनर्जी क्योंकि रिलीज होगी तो वो वाटर को स्टीम में करेगी कन्वर्ट, और फिर वो टरबाइन को मूव कराएगी ना, तो वही सेम मतलब प्रोसेस होगा, तो हम ये
जी,
क्यों नहीं यूज करते?
बट यहाँ पर इतनी ज्यादा हीट एनर्जी रिलीज नहीं होगी कि वो पानी को जो है आपके पास कन्वर्ट कर दे किसके अंदर, स्टीम के अंदर. दूसरा ये कि आपके पास, आप कौन से पानी की बात कर रहे हो, जो पानी अंदर मौजूद है या जो पानी बाहर मौजूद है उसकी बात करें?
सर वो जो पाइप्स में होता है वो
यस, एग्जैक्टली. अब देखो, कोई भी रिएक्शन जो हम करते हैं ना, उसके अंदर कोई भी प्रोसेस जो हम लोग कर रहे होते हैं, तो उसके अंदर सबसे पहली चीज इंपॉर्टेंट जो होती है वो होती है आपके पास सेफ्टी प्रिकॉशंस. हर एक चीज में सेफ्टी प्रिकॉशंस जरूरी होती हैं. अब आप पानी को गर्म करने के लिए अगर सोडियम का रिएक्शन कराते हो, सो इट इज एक्सप्लोसिव, तो आप ऐसे रिएक्शंस कराने से अपने आप को दूर रखोगे जिसके अंदर धमाका हो सकता है. पहली बात. दूसरी बात ये कि सोडियम इतना महंगा मेटल है कि आप उसको यूज करोगे तो वो जो प्रोसेस है पानी को स्टीम में बनाने का वो आपको पड़ेगा महंगा. इससे बेहतर तो ये होता है कि आप उसको टेम्परेचर देके स्टीम में कन्वर्ट कर लेते. ठीक है?
जी सर.
So in the
Okay.
industry, we talk about the formation of something. So the first thing that is very important is precautions for the workers. Then the second thing is cost, and the third thing is time. So these 3 things are very much important in industries. तो उनको देखते हुए सारे प्रोसेस किए जाते हैं. ठीक है? जो feasible होता है उसको यूज किया जाता है. Right?
Okay sir, got it.
Okay, so Bacho, we were talking about observation, which is separate for every reaction over here. So we know that down the group, when we move for the group 1 metals or any metal of any group, when you move down the group, so you need to keep remember the reactivity of metals increases. So right now, lithium is highly reactive. It reacts fastly, but the sodium is more reactive than lithium. So you can write over here, react fastest, या आप लिख सकते हैं more fastly, right? और उसके बाद you can even write के reacts vigorously, right? And then you can say that react and catch fire, reacts and can catch fire, right? So you can see this by words. I am just showing the intensity of the reaction, right? I'm just using the different words to show the intensity of the reaction, and it's all about the reactivity. We know that whenever we are moving down the group in the metals, so the reaction is going to be more vigorous, right everyone?
हम ये कह सकते हैं vigorous and explosively last
You
में.
can say that, yes.
Both.
You can say that explosively. What is also you can use over here. That's fine.
ठीक है, बाकी right sir.
Anything else, बच्चों? Any problem that you have over here?
No,
और
sir.
ठीक
सर
है,
इनकी
जल्दी.
नेम का कलर तो नहीं याद रखना पड़ता ना कि सोडियम की कैसी होती है और क्या कहते हैं पोटेशियम की कैसी होती है वगैरह वगैरह.
देखें अभी फिलहाल यहाँ ऑब्जर्वेशन में फ्लेम का टेस्ट बताने की जरूरत नहीं है आपको, लेकिन आपके सिलेबस में आपको याद करना पड़ेगा बिकॉज द फ्लेम टेस्ट ऑफ 6 मेटल आयंस आर इंक्लूडेड इन योर सिलेबस, सो यू हैव टू लर्न द फ्लेम टेस्ट फॉर दैट, राइट?
Okay, sir.
Anything else बच्चों? Any problem, any question that you want to ask?
चाहिए रुबीडियम की रिएक्शन की सेफ्टी प्रिकॉशन क्या होती है?
If you want to make this reaction safe, so definitely you are saying that it can catch fire, so you have to wear the safety goggles, right? And one more thing is you can do this reaction in safety cupboard, right?
रिएक्शन करते भी हैं लोग?
Yeah, definitely होता है रिएक्शन। आप पहले इसको लिखें, मैं आपको दिखाता हूँ रिएक्शन। आप इसको लिखें
इसमें
और
बस एक सवाल है,
फ्रेंशियम वाला रिएक्शन आपको लिखने दिखाना है बच्चों। आप सबको फ्रेंड Okay, so you can even add the test over here for suppose the hydrogen gas test. If you want to confirm that this is a hydrogen gas, so you can write the test for hydrogen gas. You need to keep remember this. This is very much important for you. What we need to do for the test of the gas, which is colorless. अब देखिए colorless gas can be carbon dioxide, colorless gas can be oxygen, colorless gas can be ammonia, colorless gas can be hydrogen. So we have a lot of gases that are colorless. So it's important for us to confirm that gas so we can have a test for this. If you want to confirm that is it hydrogen or not, so what is the test for you? You need to place a lightened splint. Place a lightened splint. Place a lightened splint near the gas. When you place the lightened splint near the gas, what you will observe, bacho, you will observe that it will extinguish with a pop-up sound. It will extinguish बुझ जाएगा वो with a pop-up sound. The pop-up sound is very much important. With the pop-up
सर
sound,
ये पॉप साउंड वैसे क्यों मतलब होती है प्रोड्यूस, इसकी
क्यों
रीजन क्या है सर?
क्यों produce होती है? Do you know the sound of the water droplet?
जी सर।
So just look at over here. When you are having hydrogen in contact with oxygen, it will produce a water molecule, right?
ओह अच्छा अच्छा समझ
So that is why you have sound like that, pop-up sound, right?
ठीक है।
Anything else, Bacho? Do you want to ask any question?
No, sir.
Okay, so let's move on towards the second chemical property of alkali metals. If you talk about second chemical property of alkali metals, which is actually reaction with oxygen. This is reaction with oxygen. And the reaction with oxygen means you are combusting it, right? So this is what combustion. Keep remember this, but it is simple for you. Whenever you are going to combust any substance, whenever you are going to combust any substance, ये फॉर्मूला याद रख लो इक्वेशन लिखने का। फॉर्मूला क्या होगा इक्वेशन लिखने का कि जिस सब्सटेंस को आप लोग बर्न कर रहे हो, जिस सब्सटेंस को आप लोग बर्न कर रहे हो, उस सब्सटेंस में जितने एलिमेंट्स होंगे, उस सब्सटेंस में जितने एलिमेंट्स होंगे, दे ऑल आर गोइंग टू फॉर्म इंडिविजुअल प्रोडक्ट्स विद ऑक्सीजन। सब अलग अलग ऑक्सीजन से कंपाउंड बनाएंगे, सब अलग अलग। बट राइट नाउ दिस इज अबाउट ग्रुप 1 मेटल्स। सो ग्रुप 1 मेटल्स तो अकेले ही हैं। जब आप इनको कंबस्ट करोगे इन द प्रेजेंस ऑफ ऑक्सीजन, सो दे विल फॉर्म द ऑक्साइड्स, यानी कि वो ऑक्सीजन के साथ कंपाउंड्स बनाएंगे। एंड वी नो दैट लिथियम, रुबिडियम, सोडियम, पोटेशियम, दे ऑल आर ग्रुप 1 metals and they have +1 charge on them, or even 1+ you can write, right? And the oxygen is from group number 6, so it has 2- charge. So whenever they combine together, they will form a compound like this: lithium 2 oxide, right, bacho?
Right, sir.
जी सर।
Yes.
It would be
Sir.
lithium 2 oxide, and if you react it with sodium, so it will form what? Sodium 2 oxide. If you react it with potassium, so it will form what? Potassium 2 oxide. And if you want to explain this statement, so you can see this: each potassium loses 1 electron that are both received by single oxygen, right, bacho? You need to keep remember this statement. It is very important for 2 marks. They can ask in ionic bonding type questions, तो आपको याद रखना है कि किस तरह फॉर्म हुआ। Okay, every one of you.
जी ठीक सर, right.
Alright, sir.
So if you talk about, if you talk about like the balancing of these equations, how can we balance this equation? Just look at over here. First of all, you need to see that on the product side, how many oxygens we have, bacho?
Sir,
Two,
two,
one,
yes,
one.
Done, sir.
On the reactant side, we have two, but on
two
the product side,
molecules.
one, right? So how can we balance this? First of all, you need to balance oxygen. So we have two oxygens over here and one oxygen over here. So we need to write two over here. Now the oxygen is balanced, right, bacho?
Yes, sir.
But how
sir.
many lithiums now we have on the product side?
Four.
We just need to write 4 over here like this, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and all the metals are solid. All the metals are solid, and oxygen gas is actually gaseous. So we are writing G over here, and metal oxides are actually insoluble. So we need to write solid over here, right? So they are solids. अगर आप इनको पानी में डिसॉल्व करते हो तो ग्रुप 1 वाले डिसॉल्व होकर सोडियम हाइड्रोक्साइड बना सकते हैं, पोटेशियम हाइड्रोक्साइड बना सकते हैं, लाइक दैट. फॉर सपोज आपके पास पोटेशियम ऑक्साइड है, आपने इसको पानी में डिसॉल्व किया, so ये आपके पास पोटेशियम हाइड्रोक्साइड बना लेगा, and now this is water soluble, so it is aqueous, right? So you can write like this. अगर आपके पास सोडियम ऑक्साइड था, so you can dissolve that in water, तो ये सोडियम हाइड्रोक्साइड बना लेगा, so then it is aqueous now, right बच्चों? For the balancing you can write 2 over here. Okay.
Yes, sir. Right.
Yes, sir.
And then for the observation of this this type of reaction, you can use the flame color. Over here, you can use the flame color. So you can say that lithium has a red color. So you can say that red flame observe, right? And if you talk about sodium, so it is yellow, orange, yellow type color hota hai. Okay, so you can even consider that orange, yellow flame. Orange, yellow flame. And if you talk about, yes, you need to learn now. And if you talk about potassium, so it is lilac flame, because it is included in your syllabus as a flame test. So it's very important to learn. Definitely, you need to learn this for ATP as well. So अगर आपको याद ही होंगे तो आप लिख सकते हैं यहाँ पर.
Okay,
ठीक
sir.
है?
Yes,
So
sir.
we have 3 more. We have copper as well in our syllabus. We have barium as well in our syllabus, and we have strontium as well. So अगर आप उसके भी कलर मुझसे पूछें तो मैं आप बता सकता हूँ कि फॉर सपोज अगर आप कॉपर को बर्न करोगे तो आपके पास जो फ्लेम होगा कॉपर आयन का वो आपके पास होगा, it would be like a bluish green, right? A greenish blue लिख लेते हैं. It would be like a greenish blue flame, right? And if you talk about strontium, this is part of group 2, so you will see that it will be red as well. You can see that it is crimson red, right? Red flame. And talk about बेटे आप में से किसी का माइक खुला हुआ है, आप चेक कर लिया करो अपना माइक प्लीज. Barium is green in color, right बच्चों?
Right, sir.
These are actually the part of our syllabus to learn this, right? So ये आप अपने पास लिख सकते हैं सारी चीजें, और उसके
सर ये
बाद
लास्ट वाला बेरियम है ना?
yes, this is barium, and जल्दी से आप लोगों ने रुबीडियम और फ्रेंशियम की इक्वेशन लिखनी है और उसका फ्लेम टेस्ट आपको याद नहीं करना है, ठीक है? जल्दी से चलें. अब देखें बच्चों, हमारे पास एक और केमिकल प्रॉपर्टी क्या है, हैलोजेंस के साथ केमिकल प्रॉपर्टी है. हैलोजेंस आर एक्चुअली द पार्ट ऑफ ग्रुप 7. दे आर द एलिमेंट्स ऑफ ग्रुप 7. ठीक है, अभी अजान के बाद हम उसको कंटिन्यू करते हैं. जस्ट वेट अ व्हाइल. So, bacho, if you talk about the reaction with halogens, so the halogens are from group number 7, right? So for suppose if I talk about the lithium, if you talk about the lithium, so lithium can react with chlorine, can react with bromine, can react with iodine as well. They all are the part of group 7. So when they react together, they will form salt only. They will form salt only, right? And we know that group 1 metals are always +1 charge and group 7 are always 1 minus. So when they combine, so they just combine in a single state. So it will be LiCl, right? So it will form LiCl, it will form LiBr, it will form LiNi. And for the balancing, you can write 2 over here, right? Because we have halogens, all the halogens are 2 over here, so we can write 2, 2, 2, and 2, 2, 2. Is that right, every one of you?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Right.
Yes.
फिर आप लोग देख लें सोडियम का रिएक्शन देख लें इन तीनों के साथ, क्लोरीन, ब्रोमीन, आयोडीन के साथ, और जल्दी से आप इसका रिएक्शन लिख लें पोटेशियम के साथ, क्लोरीन, ब्रोमीन, आयोडीन के साथ। जल्दी से जी, कोई सवाल पूछ रहा था कुछ?
नहीं